Te hunga kua karangatia nei a rahui roa ngā mate o te wā, hara mai haere. Tātou kei te ao Mariamaki he wa mauri ora kia tātou katoa. And welcome back to The Hui. Mariamaki Kapakingi announced today she is quitting Te Pāti Māori and starting her own political party. Only 2 months ago, she won a High Court battle to remain in the party. But now, she's out. I asked her why. You have decided to leave Te Pāti Māori. Why?
I have decided with many of my whānau, with our people around us, that it is time for Te Tai Tokerau party. And running for Te Tai Tokerau seat, yes, I will be, but it will be with Te Tai Tokerau party.
This won't necessarily come as a surprise to many that you are leaving Te Pāti Māori. I think the surprise is that you are starting a political party that is focused on your electorate.
Yes.
The electorate that you are the MP of at the moment, not a new national party per se.
Yes, yeah.
So does Te Pāti Māori know that you are leaving Te Pāti Māori?
Yes, yes, they do know, and as will the Speaker know.
Okay. What do you say to those people of Te Tai Tokerau, some of whom have posted publicly encouraging you to stay with Te Pāti Māori? What is your response to them?
My response is, if the leadership remains as it does with that model, I guess, then I couldn't possibly work with that. And nor should anyone else, any other woman, nor should anyone else that has self-worth and realises that that model, which is a misogynist model, which is a bullying model, those things, there's no place for those things. There never has been, but there's certainly no place for those things in my mind. And I demand better from myself.
Why do you think this will get you votes and therefore get you re-elected on November the 7th?
I think it's a combination of things. I think people that hear the word Tai Tokerau, they can resonate to that. I think what they're seeing is a type of quality candidate that's experienced, that's mature, that's strong, and that will fight for what is right.
What is the main issue that this party will stand for, or the main issues that this party will stand for, and after November 7th, achieve for the people of Te Tai Tokerau?
I want to focus on our whare, on our whenua and whānau. They don't want to have to pay $10 for a pound of butter in Te Kao. You know, they want to have incomes that support their families, keep the lights on, fill their cupboards with kai. So cost of living, access to good health, focus on the issues for our marae, mental health for our young Māori men. That's a key for me. I've worked in the suicide prevention space. Oranga tamariki, our mums and our babies, keeping our mums well and strong and vital at home, and being able to look after our moko. Yeah, those are some of the things that come to mind.
Young people are really hard to get to a polling booth. How are you going to change that?
Our team are made up of quite a few young people, as in from 16 to 36, I guess. So there's a range of being young. So we've got that in our mix, constantly steering me and guiding me to, these are the things that matter, Mino. Watch out for those things. What we've got now is a lot of young people are looking for people that they can connect to, both heart and mind, that they can relate to, and that they can trust to put their young vote to a particular individual like that. And I'm up for that.
I'm joined now by our first political panel for the Hui for this year. Wow, what a day to start. She is a political scientist, Dr. Lara Greaves from Te Herenga Waka, Victoria University of Wellington. She is also a former candidate for Tāmaki Makaurau for the National Party. She is Henure Te Ao, and he is a political commentator and was also contesting the election for Tāmaki Makaurau for Labour. He joins us now for the first time on our panel, Nathaniel Howe. E aku rangatira tēnā koutou katoa. No way. Let's get into it. Lara, what do you think?
Yeah, look, I'm going to filter this through the lens of being just kind of tired, and knowing that a lot of people feel tired. They feel like there's not a lot of hope. They feel broke. People even with a moderate amount of money feel broke, right? And so having all of this political drama, it's like, oh, here we go again, you know, here we go again.
And?
Yeah. The This kind of makes a lot of sense to me though, because I can kind of see the idea of having maybe like an independent, like kind of that, is it spoken hub? I don't know what that even means, but where you've got these independent, rohe specific MPs, and they might each have a party, because I can't imagine they're like Te Tai Tokoro party running anywhere else in the country, really. It's not running on the East Coast, for example, is it? So having these different like electorate name parties and them all kind of uniting on some policy platforms, maybe a little bit similar to like the teal independents in Australia where they do unite a bit, but Māori, yeah. I can see it working. I can see something working, but it's like, is there enough time now? Is there enough? Well, money doesn't matter as much in Māori politics, but is there enough everything, enough organisation? Is it going to work? I don't know. I really just don't know anymore.
And Hui Te Ao?
Oh, I just got excited. I went from low energy to high energy and went, damn it, Māori politics just got interesting today. And we need something interesting, we really do, you know. And I think Mariamina's just given us something different to think about. You know, if you think about Māori politics, you know, over the decades, this is nothing new to us. We're used to this. You know, we've seen it in Maturata, we saw it in Tariana Turie, Papapeta. We've seen this sort of change take place. So I'm going, this is different. It's different because you can see it's region-centric, you can see it's kaupapa-centric, relational-centric, it's getting back to a values approach. And I'm going, oh, that's interesting. You know, te tai tokarau whakapapa. And I go, that's a good move. Be interesting to see how people in Tai Tokarau, how they engage with it.
Nathaniel, how?
Yes, Māori politics has just got very, very interesting all of a sudden. I think immediately when I watch that video and I think about a couple of things. The first thing I think about is Tai Tokerau Party, ka pai, nau mai, haere mai, ki te kaupapa o te ao tōranga pū Māori. I think as someone who was born and raised in West Auckland, which I think will be a huge determinant, those wahine toa up in Tai Tokerau look very gridlocked and look like it's going to be a hard decision. So I do think about that part of the electorate that might be a little bit of a decision, might make the decision for that part of Te Tai Tokerau.
Yeah.
And I also think what's going to happen with Te Pāti Māori, who are they going to run, and how's that all going to play out? So.
Yeah, let's pick up on that point. Let's pick up on the Tai Tokerau Party, which I thought was interesting. I thought maybe as an independent, the fact that she's decided to establish a party, I think you were getting at infrastructure, right? Got to have 500 members.
Yep.
You've got to have them registered. You've got to have this and that done by June, whatever the date is,
Yep.
mid-June, I think it is, to be a fully fledged party. I mean, this stuff's not easy.
It's not, and we've seen the barriers to entry in MMP are incredibly hard. Where it has happened is normally when there is an electorate or someone holds an electorate, but if we see in the past that's been for a by-election, so it's going to be a bit of a mystery as to whether that all works out before the election. And then also figuring out what the other MPs around the country are doing, because it's like quite hard, I think, as one individual MP, we've seen it's quite hard to get the spotlight when you can. We had that time in the kind of earlier in the 2000s where we had like Peter Dunn sitting there by himself, we had David Seymour sitting, like Jim Anderton, all that kind of thing. It's kind of hard to do the resourcing on that. I mean, we'll kind of see what happens long term as to if they'll get elected. That's, again, it's like a logistical thing. Again, I'm not saying that they can't do it, especially if there's hope and it feels like, you know, authentic to voters, then that's great. But we've also got the voter turnout and enrolment part of the picture this time around. So earlier elections, you know, people could take for granted they could rock up those 2 weeks before polling day and enrol to vote. Almost half of Māori teenagers last time around enrolled in that 2 weeks before the election. They can't do that anymore. So there's an extra logistical challenge this time round in Māori politics, in those electorates, to make sure that you've got not just the infrastructure to have a party, but to have a turnout machine and an enrolment machine. That's an extra element this time.
Stay with us. We're going to talk more. We're going to talk about whether or not Mariamaki can win. Will others follow her lead from Te Pāti Māori, other MPs, current MPs, as well as the wider Māori electorate race? That's more after this. E hare ake nei te iwi tātou hui, a te hui, more politics and more kōrero with our panel. nau hoki mai anō e taimā. Ko te reo o te hui tōranga pūtene e pāororo atu ana ki o koutou katoa. Now, who better to talk about politics and the Tai Tokerau Party with Mariamaki Kapakingi starting the Tai Tokerau Party. 3 people who can talk about that because they all whakapapa up north. Associate Professor in Politics te Herenga Waka, Victoria University, Dr. Lara Greaves, is with us. With her ngāpuhi whakapapa, former Tāmaki Makaurau candidate with the National Party, her own Ngāti Hene whakapapa, Hui Te Ao is back with us as well. And again, for the first time, first of many appearances, I suspect, with us as well. With his own ngāpuhi whakapapa, Nathaniel Howell is with us. Let's get into it. Henui Te Ao, Mariamaki Kapakingi, the Tai Tokerau Party, will she win the Tai Tokerau race?
She's got a good chance. She's got a very good chance. I mean, I say that because, as you know, within Te Tai Tokerau, we've got 2 other very strong wahine. They all whakapapa to each other, ne? With Willow in Labour and Huhana Linda in Greens. So it's a question of how those 3 work together. She has got a following up in Te Tai Tokerau, and if I take it from the kohiwhata hui that they've held, is that she has the support. The question will be, is that who will mobilise behind her? And I think there's a vote there of our 30 plus age group, Māori, wahine, toa, strong, you know, who want to see a different type of leadership because our current leadership home doesn't suit them, you know.
And whoever the Māori Party, whoever Te Pāti Māori stands as a candidate now.
That's right.
Now
yeah,
that's clear.
Know, that's clear.
I did note, Nathaniel, that she said she's going to get young vote. I think there was some surprise about the age spectrum of rangatahi, but anyway, just missed out again. But she says she's going to get the rangatahi vote out. What do you think of that?
Oh, she's like an auntie, and I think for rangatahi they can feel at peace and at home with an auntie, like a auntie style of politics. It resonates with many of our rangatahi, and she has a strong support of rangatahi Māori who are out there politicking hard with her boys, with her sons, and all of the people that come in and around and wrap around them. So I wouldn't say it's out of the question, but I will say Te Tai Tokerau is going to be a very interesting battle. It looks like we might have 4 potential, strong candidates who might make this very interesting to watch over the coming election cycle. So
yeah,
keep our eyes on it.
Yeah, I look forward to the debates, by the way. That'll be interesting. Okay, Te Pāti Māori has responded today. It has said that it has confirmed 5 candidates for the election. They are Rawiri Waititi, Debbie Ngarewa Peka, Hayley Maxwell, Hana Rawhiti Maipi Clark, and Orini Kaipara. Thoughts?
Well, I think those last 2 names, Orini and Hana Rawhiti, I think a lot of people will be just like watching them over the coming weeks and reading into what they post or do not post, who they're meeting with, what they're up to. I feel there'll be a lot of scrutiny on those 2 in particular, given the events last year and how they had reacted. So I think that's where people will be watching. Yeah, let's just watch this space. That's where the excitement is like, what's going to happen now? What happens with Taku Te Ferris now as well? Like, because he was going to run as an independent, is he now going to create his own party? Like, there's just a lot of questions.
Yeah.
A lot of questions.
What's the impact on Te Pāti Māori, do you think, Henui?
I think with this type of split, it will certainly split their vote for the Tai Tokerau in some particular way. I don't think they'll be far too concerned about it, myself personally, because the Te Pāti Māori, they've got a good following through the country. But I'm going, it'll be... For me, I want to know what our Tāmaki Makaurau electorate MP is doing, what our hauraki Waikato, and especially Te Taitonga. Our Te Taitonga candidate stands as an independent right now, if you look at it, with Marumino. So it's a question whether we can create a movement here, whether those ones want to see the movement and want to be centric, kaupapa-centric more so than followed by potentially a party that is, is seen as devaluing kaupapa Māori.
Yeah. Let's talk to the guy who was going to stand against Orini Kaipara and Tāmaki Makaurau. What do you think they're going to do? What do you think they're going to do, Nathaniel? What do you think Orini Kaipara is going to do? What do you think Hana Rawhiti Maipi Clark's going to do? There's a lot of speculation.
I think it's too hard to say at this point in time. I think we just got to watch and wait and see and look how they respond. I think Mariamaki came out as very confident in the why, as we discussed, and I think that might be compelling for people who are sort of might be sitting on the fence, but it's going to be hard to say. And once we gain that clarity, I think the only ones who'll be happy about it will be the Labour Party and the Green Party. Because
do you think this has opened it up for the Labour Party and the Green Party?
I do. I think the Labour Party will be sitting there feeling very confident. They've got their selections in place, they've got their candidates in place, and so they'll be looking at it like, okay, well, now we can build momentum. And I think the Green Party's also been building momentum over the last couple of months and years as well.
Yeah.
There's a lot of potential there, right? For Labour could hypothetically win all of the electorates back. I'm never predicting Māori politics again. I've learnt my lesson. Learnt my lesson many times over the past few years, but it could go anyway. And the other thing is to note is don't watch the polls, because the polls were like 20 to 30% off last time around. Really hard to poll in the Māori electorates.
Yeah.
Like, no shade on anyone who's polling them. Really hard technical exercise. Anyway, but like one of the things that we have to watch now though is that we know that Māori voters are strategic, and the best bang for your buck strategy would be to party vote for whoever, but to vote for a party who has no chance of getting a party vote. So an independent type party, like the Tītai Tokoro party or whoever it is, for the candidate. So we know that if independent or very small party candidates win in the Māori electorates, that will create an overhang. We will end up with up to like 127 seats in Parliament and all of these extra Māori MPs. And that will create a bunch of issues, because I imagine that, you know, Winston Peters is going to turn around and go, look, they're at it, they're Māori privilege again, or whatever it is, like they're doing this and they're being strategic, we need to get rid of the Māori seats. But actually, like realistically, from a strategy perspective, you kind of need to tell people that like that's how you change the government, that's how you have the most Māori MPs, is these independents and these small parties, them winning those electorates. That's a sensible strategic thing, but again, you've got to balance that with, oh, it means we get rid of the electoral roll.
Yeah.
You've got to watch the Greens too coming through, because they're in this for a longer term strategy, you know, sustainability over a period of time. You've got to watch the fact they've got young Tanya Waikato, isn't it, you know, in there. You've got Te Matapo, you've got some really young, vibrant Māori, as well as our Huhana Linden. So potentially they could come through the middle. I don't think Labour have got it in the bag by any means. They may not take all 7. They might capture a couple, but not all, because of the Greens and how they're very tactically and strategically, especially around equity, social justice, which is very important to, you know, to our sectors, our Māori sectors, is that we watch with interest what will happen in that particular area.
Yeah, the main thing though, I think, and I didn't mean for this to go to you, Nathaniel, is that Labour stood strong. I mean, Te Pua Hokatene, strong candidate. You know, it's got strong candidates across the board. Even Manunui Ramsden down in Ngaitahu, respected guy in Te Taitonga, they've got strong candidates, right? And so the main thing is we're going to get a really good whakataitai now. As you said, it's going to be interesting to watch.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting. I think the best part for us as Māori is that it should be a whakataitai. At this stage, we should be looking at a great contest of ideas and looking at what the people want and what the people decide on behalf of tātou te iwi Māori. And that's the best position we can be in, putting up our best to have a great contest of ideas and let democracy do its thing.
Okay, we have got much more to come. We're going to talk about the wider body politic, and we're also going to talk about what this means in terms of the impacts on other political parties and even the way this shakes down after November 7. Ki to tunu mai rei te iwi, ka rere tonu ngā whakapuakitanga te tapu I tōranga pūnei a haere ake nei. We have more from our political panel next. No mai anō. Ki e tahi atu take nui o te aotoranga pui ai anina a panel, Dr. Lara Greaves, Hui Te Ao, and Nathaniel Howe are with us today. Lara, does this make Chris Hipkins' life easier? Because he's been reticent to talk about Te Pāti Māori in any coalition government arrangement that he can lead. Does the fact that he can now potentially lean on independence through other political parties make his life easier?
Well, I think they're probably going to hold to the statement that they're out to win the Māori electorates, and that's going to be what they'll kind of hold to. So then they can kind of say, oh, we're not going to talk to them, look, they're falling apart over there, but we, you know, hypothetically would in the future, right? So they can kind of just hold to that statement, like, with this mess, with Te Pāti Māori, with, you know, the splinter parties, we're just going to focus on winning the electorates. I wouldn't be surprised if they kind of go with that line, but it is kind of good for them, because it's like less, they look less wedded to Te Pāti Māori as an option. And I think, you know, we've seen in New Zealand politics this left bloc and this right bloc emerge of like, oh, that's probably that coalition, that's probably that coalition. So it kind of takes heat out of the blocks. I'm still waiting to see what happens with Opportunity in the centre. You know, the Opportunity Party, which has come through with, you know, quite a kind of refreshed package, still the same sort of vibe, but we'll kind of see what happens there, if there's any kind of deal in Mount Albert or any possibility of them getting to the 5%, because I think that changes the maths as well and changes the whole, the whole political spectrum in the country.
If you're the Prime Minister, Hui Te Ao,
Imagine.
would you, among many other things you can consider,
Imagine, yes.
is one of the things you consider having a chat with Mariamaki Kapakingi? Or
Absolutely.
anyone else that stands as an independent or starts a new political party?
I think so. I think that whoever the Prime Minister may be of the day, be it left or right or centre, is that they should be talking to those independents, you know, to be able to create an accord. For Māori, if we're breaking away from a Westminster system and that we want to be at the table, then we have to be able to create the accords with our political parties, yeah? It's really important. Otherwise, we won't get the outcomes for our Māori, especially as Maramino has talked about, you know, her whenua, her whānau, really important things, eh? Health, important to her. So you want to reduce the inequalities, reduce the inequities, and ensure that we can get back to what, to enable that we've got the food on the table, that we've got the puti in our pocket, and address the equalities that we've been wanting to achieve under the Titiriti for, you know, the last almost 200 years.
Yeah. I know it seems a long time ago, but there was a vote within the National Party caucus about the leader.
That was only like 2 weeks ago, right?
Yeah, it feels like a long time ago after today, in movements today. But Nathaniel Howe, is the Prime Minister still going to be the Prime Minister up to Rip Day?
I mean, it depends on the centre block. And one thing I always am reminded from my one of my papa used to say to me, always take consideration for the silent centre, the ones who aren't so loud on social media, the ones who aren't so loud in the streets. They tend to be the ones that will decide their government, and it looks gridlocked. I hope he's not the Prime Minister. I hope we have a change of government, and I hope we have a new Prime Minister come November 7th, but we'll see.
Okay, we asked this question of Mariamaki, and I thought it was an interesting answer, because I said if Chris Luxon is still in the seat but needs someone to get him over the line and rings you, would you take the call? And she said, I probably would, because it needs outcomes for Te Tautokoro. I found that really interesting.
Yeah, hard one, because with the Māori Party, like Wave 1, first generation, first edition, when we looked at the data and the analysis and looking at the commentary of the time, a lot of people were saying, well, the Māori Party left Parliament because of buddying up with National, because of those enhanced confidence and supply. On the other hand, whānau ora and some of that policy legacy in those national governments, we can draw a line and go, oh, well, that's led to that, which has led to that, which has led to positive outcomes for Māori, even if incrementally. So then you end up as a sort of independent, one-person band kind of party. You have that possibility of having that outsized influence. And if you do have those policy priorities, which Mariamaki has, and you got those and you go into the agreement, you could actually just get some of those policy goals over the line, get them embedded, because the left bloc will probably leave them be, and make real change. You could do that.
Does that surprise you that she would do that?
If she's strategic, as I know she is, and tactical, then I would go, she will do what's best for her people. But she will talk to Te Tautokoro first before she makes any decision.
As would any others, right? As would any others.
Because if you're doing kaupapa-centric and relational, then going back to her people, to Te Tautokoro, and saying, hey, this is what we have the opportunity to do, then she'll make the decision there. She won't make this decision alone.
Yeah, I've just realised I said we're going to go wider and then I pulled it back to the ties. We're going to, without enough, apologies about that.
Exactly.
I know, and I know Lara said that don't bake in the polls because they've been off. The polls currently say that Nationals 29%-ish, Labour 35%-ish, centre-right government still by 2 seats or so. Has this completely changed the game?
I think it has. I think it has changed the game. I think it changes the way we view how the Māori seats are going to land, and it starts to open up the discussions about what the coalition, what potential coalitions look like. And when we start to have a reframed interpretation of what those things might look like, or yeah, it certainly does. I found it surprising that, as you said, that Whamaria Meno would consider seeking outcomes on the other side, given that a lot of the movement and a lot of the politicking has been very anti the right bloc. So, I mean, it opens it up and it flips it on its head and it makes us all consider what's happening in Māori politics.
I mean, we also got quite a moderate National Party under John Key, right, in terms of a lot of Māori issues. We saw Don Brash, the Orewa speech, like all of that talk of abolishing this, getting rid of that, the treaty grievance industry, whatever it was. And then we saw John Key come in and kind of not do a lot of that, even though if you were looking at the policy trends, you'd kind of expect National to have done that. So we saw the Māori Party actually moderate down the right, and that might be another option for Māori politics, because we've seen people, you know, the commentary on this government and people's views on this government is so, you know, it is so atrocious, like the things that this government has done. So you can see arguments now for for Māori candidates, independent, smaller parties to go with National. So then National can go, oh, we're not going to do that, because we can't form a government unless we don't do those particular things that you want.
Yeah. And we have to look too, I mean, you know, it's political systems all around the world. You know, we won't be the first to look at where we have our alliances with. You know, if you look at the Irish system, for example, you know, small coalition parties work for them to be able to look at things around identity, language, you know, economic growth, for example. So I would assume, and Sami government's another example, I would assume that we will not, you know, that we will take the opportunity when it's given to us, but be clear on what it is that we endeavour to get over the line. Peter Dunne's a really good example. Yeah. So it's in our history.
Yeah. You know, the other thing I just realised, the one who's rubbing his hands at all this stuff, Winston Peters.
Winston. It always comes back to Winston. No matter what, it all comes back to Winston, as it has for the last 50 years.
Yeah.
He will be the kingmaker again, you know. I can't see him not being the kingmaker in this election. It's a question whether he will stay with the right or we go with the left, and I feel that maybe he may go with the left, but that's because of, because of the, you know, there's so much political noise out there.
Do you think he would do that?
It's interesting to think whether or not he's actually seeking to be a minority or a support partner, or whether he's seeking to be the
Prime
big
Minister.
boss.
But does he not go where his donors are?
Yes, and that is worthy of another panel discussion, and we can't do that now because we've run out of time. But I thank you for positing that at the very last minute of our discussion. Really appreciate your time. Henry, boy, what a year we have got coming up. Thank you for joining us this week as well. We're looking forward to bringing you more of Te Ao Māori to you. Until then, e ngai wi kia mau, ki te tūranga o taputapu a te haumi e, hui e, tae ki e. Nā te puna whakatongarewa, te hui I tautoko.
Kia ora and welcome. Some sweet inspiration tonight, including a kura in Manawatu you may not have heard of, turning out champions like you wouldn't believe. That's later. First up, Pōtaka Maipi heads across to the GC to meet up with a couple who are really making inroads into the sports apparel scene with their brand KBS. But behind the triumph, there's been tragedy and redemption.
Ka tau mai ki Piripane ka tūtaki atu ki tētahi kaiarehi pakihi Māori hou.
Biggest challenges, bro?
Biggest challenges? There's been a lot, bro. I can tell you that for free.
Te whenua o ngā maru apo nui me ngā angitu.
In terms of business, the biggest challenges for me was making that step from leaving a stable income to moving into a space of the unknown and not knowing, if I was going to make it and not knowing if I was going to have money, bro.
KBS, where does that come from?
Yeah, so KBS, another thing people don't know, it stands for Knowledge Benefits Success. And I feel like that speaks for itself, and not just knowledge in the game and in the sport, but yeah, knowledge in business as well. Like, it's going to benefit you and it's going to make you more successful.
Ka whakapono a kauri ki aua kupu.
I left school a little bit early to get a job, to make money, but I always wanted to make money and pay my own way. Help my mum out around the house, pay board and stuff. And yeah, Skylar and I have been together since we were 13, 14. So obviously making money was a priority as well to keep her happy. Nah.
Kei te ono rau mano tāngata no Aotearoa I nuku mai ki ahi treiria, ko te nuinga, ka whai kāinga hou, ki tēnei papa. A kickback touch player from Porirua with big dreams moved here to the GC.
Yeah, bro, I was obviously born and raised in Porirua. It's such a strong background in sports. Like, everything you do there growing up is sport related. Obviously, we got a lot of talented sportsmen coming out of there, like the likes of TJ Perenara, Jerry Collins, Michael Campbell, Jackson Garner-Bishop and Connor. I got to meet a lot of amazing people through touch, and that's another, I'll put that down to the connections and networking I do have today. All of it tracks back to touch. It's a beautiful sport, bro, and I'm so grateful that I grew up around it and got to meet some amazing people.
If you've been contemplating coming through KBS but are unsure of where to start, this is how.
KBS, te kamupene kākahu hā kina kina. Horapa ana ki ngā papatākoro o Aotearoa me te whenua o moimoia.
Did you think it would have grown to this many, bro?
Bro, I would say that this isn't even near a quarter of the clients that we do, bro. This is just more for stock for clients that are on contract. But no, never in a million years we thought we'd be where we are in terms of the client count we do have now.
A major business milestone was hit this year, with KBS hitting a 7-figure turnover. He moimoi ai ahu mai te moipapa nui mō ngā mātua.
In 2020, we lost our son. That became the main drive, bro, is why we keep pushing through. So he was born early at 20 weeks. He was alive for 2 hours and then passed away.
How tough of a time was that for you during that period?
2020 that's COVID. That was the COVID year. That's no family coming to see you, borders were closed. So at that time, we're in hospital dealing with this. I'm gonna be upset. Dealing with, like the grief, and then our parents couldn't be there. So just none of that support or that you're looking for, like your family, to get you through these tough times, that was frustrating.
It changed everything for us, bro, from almost giving up, and then from that happening, just trying to make our boy proud, bro, and especially he was our first child that we had, so yeah, that's the main driver, bro, and I believe that's what got us to where we are today is our boy, and everything we do and we install in our workspace, bro, whether it's KBS or here in our gym, the drive comes from him.
Kaua e po he kaupapa māma mo te tāne hei waha I ngā whakaaro o te pauri.
Even me speaking here today is stepping outside of my comfort zone that I'm really proud of. And I think this is so important for people to understand is I tucked myself away for a very long time and I didn't heal, I didn't grieve properly. When I started reaching out and talking to people about you know, what I've gone through, I started to be a bit more confident in myself and come out of my shell. Today I just wanted to jump on here and talk about, I guess, a bit more about the mental health side and what sharing my journey and jumping on social media has actually done for me. It was so hard to step into that space and yet alone share it to my social media, but the response I got from people that it's kind of brought people out of their shell of getting help, reaching out for help, bro, because everyone sees the success and the business person I am, but I went through the hardest time of my life, like the last 3 years. I've been having a bad week, the past week. Today I didn't go to work.
With men and mental health, it's normal to bottle it in or don't show your emotions. And then there's another thing to acknowledge when you need the help and you know that there's something wrong, which now he's in a space where he does do therapy and I'm proud of him for doing therapy. And a lot of our friends and whānau are proud of him because not only is he doing it himself, he's sharing that journey online. On his socials, he's posting to his friends that he's taken this next step and he's acknowledged this.
He maraikura I pūmau ki te ngākau, he toki I roto I te ao mātauranga ki te tai kaura, ko Paula Wanakore.
She's actually played a massive role in us being business owners and starting our business. We actually started KBS in her home. So we lived with her when we first moved over for about half a year, maybe just over, her and Uncle Tama. And that whānau, bro, I can't even put into words how grateful we are for them. She's literally like our mama. You know, when we're moving away from home, it's so important to keep our culture alive and installed in us, and she definitely done that for us, bro. But yeah, so we started our company in our room with her, and yeah, she pushed us to do better every day.
I whakarerea ngā mea katoa I Aotearoa kia whakatūria ai tā rāua pakihi I tētahi rūma moi I Ahitereiria. Nā ko nā ka whanake haere a KBS. I tērā wiki tonu I āhia a kauri rāua ko Skylar, e whakawhānui ana I a rāua hononga, me te whakapiki hoki te kitea o tā rāua kaupapa. Kia rāua kāore he taumata, te tae a te kake.
Just back yourself, give it a go. You've got nothing to lose, like that's all it is. Don't rely on other people to make your dreams come true. Like just push and make it true yourself, and yeah, who knows where it will get you, so.
And this is crazy to be giving advice, bro, because we're still learning. Like, we never claim that, or, you know, we don't come from business background, bro. So if you just stick at it, you'll be surprised of how far you can actually get.
Amazing success story and how they're healing from the hurt. Up next, Manukura High. Kia ora. Manukura High is based in Palmerston North and it's co-ed, committed to academic excellence and high performance on the field. Proudly Māori, it's a little kura having a big impact. Paul Ratahi with the story.
Kei te nākau o Manawatu, tētahi kaupapa e whakaputa ana e ētahi mahi whakahirahira. Ā, kaore e mōhiotia whānuitia ana. Ko te haikura o Manukura, kaore anō kia eke ki te ruarau o nā tauira. He kura ira huhua, engari kua pikau kaha nei I te whituporo kōhine kura tuarua puta noa I Aotearoa.
Te reira, Araya, lovely play. Davis. Talitonu! Talitonu!
E whāna taitara nahi nara. Ā, e aro ana ki te taitara tuarima karapipiti I tēnei tau. Ko nā tauira o mua, ko nā ingoa rongonui I te whituporo me te neteporo. Hioi, te ha te kura huna.
Kia ora Sui, talk to us about Manukura and how unique it is.
Manukura, obviously founded by Nathan and Yvette Jury, is a kaupapa. We don't refer to ourselves as a school, and I think their vision was around normalising excellence for Māori, and our special character is equally important, the academics, sport and also culture, standing proud to be Māori and understanding that Te Ao Māori.
Here in our kaupapa I Manukura, something that we strive to make normal. It's normal for us to celebrate excellence. And it may be something little, but we look at it as excellence in whatever you do. We just want to show our iwi and the world that being Māori and being excellent at doing whatever you do is part of our culture.
E hara I te matahuna I riro ai ngā taitara. Me kā ke tau whakapaunga kā I tā o hoariri. A whakapakari ai rātou ki te waha o te riri I te ata.
Okay, you go. Work.
He kai tākoro takiwhitu o mua a Rayana Ferris. A, he paumua no te kapa paua hau a whiowhio.
We're not the biggest team. Well, we make up for it in our fitness. That's what we train every day. They go hard. In order to perform, we know that we have to train our bodies, train our minds and make sure that we're physically ready.
Nā te me he kaupapa motuhake a Manukura, ko te āhua o tā rātou hōtaka me te wiki e tūkaha ake nei rātou I kura ke.
One of the biggest advantages is when we say we're a kaupapa, we have that high performance element.
He mamuku o mua Christina Sue, Waihoki, he toa whakaihu waka whituporo o te epu o te ao.
Part of our timetable structure allows hakinakina or exercise in the morning as well as they get fed here. So we know nutritionally they're getting fed the right nutrients and then we have academic classes throughout the day and then 3 of the 5 days a week we have afternoon trainings, but that is part of our kaupapa. So I guess that's an advantage is they don't have to do their trainings after school. We can accommodate not just the strength and conditioning aspect, the tactical, technical, and then the game understanding, the review. So we can offer a breadth of a program based on this being the special character of Manukura. Let's just go, let's go. We need that support there, we need that support. Yes.
He tike ngā kawatau me ngā pairewa. He oi kei te eke ngā kōhine ki te taumata.
There's no slipping really, because they know that that's just what we've expected. Go low, go low. Good kill.
Girls probably see me as like the hard lady that keeps them on with their standards. Part of what makes us successful is that we hone in a lot on what we expect of them, not just in our rugby program, but being here at Manukura, I think it's a bigger picture.
Rise and Sui, it's like ingrained in us to always have high standards, be above other normal schools.
Hei tā teila he kaupapa a Manukura e pāna ki te rangatiratanga me ngā hiringa o te oho a te tuakana me te taina ki Wainganui I ngā kōhine.
The seniors need to step up and they need to set by example and lead from the front so that our juniors can pick up what we're doing. They can carry it on throughout the years that we've left. But I think our seniors that we've had over the years have been really inspirational for us. And I think that's what makes in our rugby program above most other normal schools.
E hara I te mea ko te tākoro ki te whira te menu ki Manukura. Engari ko te mātauranga ki tua atu o te whira tērā I te tepe me te whaipiro ki runga.
One of the pou of our kura is the pou mātauranga, and that's pretty much the most important pou.
For us as league coaches, we've got huge expectations of our girls to excel academically. Sport is only a small fragment of their life, and what's important is they have the knowledge and capabilities to go and have a career beyond rugby, and we've always said it's just the medium to excel, knowing that actually you need education is power, and that's really honed in on our girls that they understand that.
Education is important for us wahine Māori at this school to be able to have good work ethic. But when I finish school, I really want to do accounting and become a personal trainer, like study at Massey University. I think it's really crucial to have good marks as well as a player, because if we fall through the cracks and don't become a top athlete, in case an injury happens or something, then we always have a backup plan.
Me te aha e ka ake ana te kite o Manukura I ngā whānau ki waho I te rohe o Manawatu.
Over the last few years, we've had experienced some success. So of our current squad, almost 50% are from around the country. So we privately board at Manukura. Families want their girls to be here as a place for education, but also to invest, I suppose, in their rugby pathway as well.
Ko tētahi o e rā whānau kua whai I taua ara, ko te whānau Matheson Union. I hunuku I a rātou tamariki I Taranaki ki te papai o ia. Kei te kawe tonu te pāpā I ngā mahi pāmu I Taranaki. Kei te noho te māma me ngā tamariki ki te papai o ia. Ahakoa te ua, e whakapono ana rātou ki ngā hua, ka puta.
It was tough. It was a real tough decision for us to make. I think the impetus for us was that our kids needed us, and so, kaore he mea apmea tuatu I tērā.
Sometimes Mum's like, I miss Dad, but I feel very grateful for them to be able to make that decision for us. And there's quite a lot of us now, because since our little brother's here now.
It is tough for my parents. They have to do rotations. My dad's here for 4 days and then goes back down, because we do have stock at our farm back home that needs to be looked after. And it was really tough on them, especially at the start, but I think we've got into a good routine now.
It's all for the, the greater good, for these kids to excel, and they're doing really well here at school. And so it's a no-brainer.
The big difference for us was that we saw how well our children were achieving. Just their own determination to make something of themselves. That was, in a nutshell. Okay, let's go.
Ahako ki runga ki waho ki hea rānei te papatākoro ki Manukura. E hara I te mea e kake ana nā kōhine Māori ki Angitu. E Angitu ke ana. Ina nei me mātua aro atu tātou.
The Shea Blake, she won't be stopped!
Winning one, that's pretty good. Winning two, you've made a name. Winning three, people are starting to take real notice of you. But winning four, right, you're the one to beat. Now you're a big target, and everybody wants to beat the best.
It's performance at the end of the day. If they're performing well on the day and throughout the season, then we'll go ahead and maybe win another title. But it's not something that motivates me as a coach necessarily.
I see the rugby girls are only getting stronger. We're always looking at the future and which way we're going now that's different from the rest.
flags are won on attack, but championships are won on blue field.
It's not just about the rugby, it's that we're growing people that are going to be kind people, know how to work hard, because rugby's not everything. But that's the real goal for us, is that we're making sure that, you know, they're prepared for when they leave our program, that they can go into the real world and they've already learnt the things that we've taught them when they leave our kaupapa.
When I first started, I had this vision. It was around creating a legacy, you know, break new ground, because we'd never had any girls play. We had to beg them to just say you're a girls rugby player, and now we've gone on to experience success. I think it's about living that legacy. We hope that it's in a good position when that time is right for us to leave, and that the legacy continues.
Love me some inspiration. That's one powerhouse teaching and coaching team. Coming up, oh yes, Winston Peters, right. Some feedback from last week. Kia ora anō. It's no walk in the park interviewing New Zealand First leader and political veteran Winston Peters. So many important issues to unpack in a short amount of time, which people feel very strongly about. In this interview, he doubled down on immigration and Shane Jones' inflammatory comment about Indian migrants.
And I don't care how much criticism we get. I am just never going to agree with a sort of butter chicken tsunami coming to New Zealand.
And I know that words matter to you. Would you like to condemn that statement?
Well, he's talking about why do we need all these chefs?
It's not chefs. It's
Oh,
not
look,
just
look,
chefs.
look,
There's IT
It includes
people.
a whole lot of chefs. It includes a whole lot of yoga teachers. It includes a whole occupations that cause us to ask, why on earth do we need them?
Do you think that that's a good statement for a minister to make?
Well, he's talking about chefs. That's what he was talking about. Do we need any more?
That's very racist, that statement.
Oh, look, excuse me. I've heard Indians who've got a sense of humour say much more, not worse than that. They've got a sense of humour. The reality is that's what he was talking about. And as we point out to you that we don't need one more chef, you want to hear blatantly argue we do.
No, but you're acting like there's just squillions of Indians going to come over here when that's not true. There's a lot of handbrakes on the numbers and the kinds of people.
Oh, look, there's an old English expression, balderdash, and you're talking plain balderdash. The reality is that the students have got a right to bring their family
No,
with them.
they don't. They don't have a right to bring their families.
Well, if all of a sudden, you know more than Goyal. Goyal said they did.
Students don't have a right to bring their families.
Oh, look, this is just wasting my time.
Yes, it got a bit testy. I don't know what you're talking
You treating
about.
Waitangi industry people are destroying Māoridom. You're doing nothing for Māoridom at all. And guess what? You're extracting all that should be spent on real Maori causes. Take, for example, Maori TV and Maori radio. If I'd have spent that money on Maori housing, every Maori family in this country would be housed now. But no, not you guys.
Well, you guys have done really good with your 48 houses.
You took all this money for a market that doesn't exist. And you tell me that you've got Maori in your Maori improvement in your sites. Oh, no, you haven't. I've watched all my career, and I started out and I've been involved in far more successful cases on the Maori side than any of you all put together. And that's the truth, isn't it?
I really don't know where you're going with
West Coast leases, Hikarangi, you
yes,
name
I've heard about you've talked about that. You've talked
biggest
about
land
that
case
previously.
at the time.
So
beat the Labor Party in the Whangarei Council.
So
but not you guys. Got no record of performance.
You guys? You keep going on about you
keep on
guys.
putting on your stupid program, and nobody wants to watch it anymore.
Well, you've been on it 4 times. It's not that bad, is it?
Yeah, that's why you got me on.
Jeepers.
Because out there, there's a smart audience than you. They know that there's a sea change happening, and they, according to the polls, are wanting to be part of it.
No, there's a whole bunch of people that are going, oh, look, he's campaigning. But what has he done in the last 3 years?
Oh, this is quite amazing.
Okay, here's some of your observations. These two are like Koro and Moko having an argument. Jeepers. Moko, uncle and niece is probably more apt, but hey, I'll take it. Then there was this. I love the interaction between you two. Hate to love, love to hate, perfect balance, lol. Just so you know, we don't hate each other. Off camera, we get on fine. On camera, it's a bit challenging. More feedback. Thanks you two for another great fireside chat about this and that in a way only you two can. Informative, challenging, engaging, and in all that, respect for each other. Nice. So far, that interview has been viewed more than 400,000 times on social media. Winston Peters was wrong when he said your stupid program no one wants to watch. That's us for tonight. Poor Marie.
Ko te reo, te take.
For more Te Ao of Moana, stream full episodes now on Māori Plus.